Update, brought to you by Simcox Advocates, advising businesses and families since 1949. Visit simcox.com or call 690 300. Manx Radio's Update with Andy Wint.
Faster, my good evening. It's 5:30. This is Update for Monday, 14th of August, 2023 from Manx Radio. 30 minutes to look at the latest news on the Isle of Man. And background to that news with sport and business and Sea Watch and travel updates and the newsmakers in person. This evening, the Manx Grand Prix kicks off on Sunday. The organisers are short of marshals. Constabulary needs witnesses to the fire at Africa House. Government may appoint an advisor on hydrocarbons and wind projects. Dr. Allinson speaks about Cummal Mooar, and the Ravens are on the road with a victory under their belt.
Man Benham for all your business and legal needs.
First of all, at 29 minutes ahead of 6 o'clock, the Update News headlines. Faster my Chanel Suku.
Faster my Ramsey MHK Alex Allinson says he's met with the Department of Health and Social Care and Manx Care to get firm answers about the future of Cummal Mooar. A man has been arrested on suspicion of arson following a fire that broke out in Africa House on Friday. And 2 9-year-old boys have raised over £1,000 for the British Legion and housing matters. In international news, the Ministry of Defence says RAF Typhoon fighters were launched earlier to intercept 2 Russian bombers north of the Shetland Islands. It's not clear what they were doing there. Northern Ireland's Chief Constable has said he believes data accidentally leaked by his force is in the hands of dissident Republican terrorists. And Westlife are going on a tour of America and Canada for the first time ever. Those were your headlines. News at 6.
Man Benham. Contact us by phone, video call, email or face-to-face. We're happy to connect with you. Manx Radio Weather with Manx Glass and Glazing.
Goromaya, thank you. Chanel from the Runnels Way Met Office. There's no wind warning in operation for the North Irish Sea. State of sea is slight. And this evening's weather, dry with some late brightness, a light north-northwesterly. It's certainly a lot better than it was earlier today. Overnight minimum 14 through the night. And for tomorrow, Tuesday, Jamaica is dry with sunny intervals, a light to moderate westerly. Highest temperatures 19 Celsius. Overnight minimum 13. And for Wednesday, Ukraine, dry with sunny spells, a light breeze and 20 degrees. The tide is about to turn. Low water is in a couple of minutes' time. Sunset is at 8 minutes before 9 tonight. High tide 22 minutes to midnight. Sunrise 5 to 6 tomorrow morning. And the morning low water is at 18 minutes past 6.
Visit the Manx Glass and Glazing website and see a range of products from windows to doors, mirrors to splashbacks. manxglass.com.
Well, the Manx Grand Prix gets underway this Sunday, but at the moment there are quite a few marshals short. The TT Marshals Association's appealing for anybody, whether they've taken part as a marshal before or not, to sign on. Vice Chair of the organisation is Andy Priestley, talking to Manx Radio.
We're always tighter than at TT. It's always tighter at the start and at the end of this event, and it always seems to be a slower take-up. Marshals tend to come in and sign on a bit later. They don't book in as early. We are tight on numbers for the first few days and the last few days. We had, I think, it's over 100 to sign up over the weekend, which is fantastic. And ideally, we'd like anyone that's willing to marshal, especially as marshals before, that has got some experience. That's brilliant. If they're thinking about it and haven't done it yet, sign up and come and join the team.
How many marshals will we need before Sunday?
The figures I've got just now, we're looking at about 52 down. We're still getting people coming in now. Just, I haven't signed up yet. They've just been in the tent now. We're open now for collecting packs. If people want to pop in and see us at the tent behind the grandstand, they're welcome to pop in and have a chat about what's involved and go to the iomttmarshals.com. There's Lots of information there, lots of questions and answers. Any queries, pop and see us at the tent and we can talk you through it.
Is there anywhere else around the island marshals can sign up, or does it have to be down at the grandstand?
You can go online. Easiest way to do it, you can do it off your phone. You can go online, iomttmarshals.com. You will then register your details. You'll then have to complete 2 online training modules. They're quite straightforward. They're about 20 minutes each, and everyone that goes out on the course has to do that. And once that's done, you'll be classified as a novice marshal, and you will be positioned with other people that have got experience. You wouldn't be expected to be on your own. You can choose what sector you want to go in. We've got 12 sectors around the course, and you don't have to do all of it. A lot of misconception is that a lot of people think you have to do all of it. You don't. Even if you want to do the first 2 or 3 days, that would be really great to help us out.
The Isle of Man Constabulary is appealing for witnesses to a fire in Douglas which saw Africa House go up in flames. PC Louise Kenyuk is talking about Friday's blaze.
Police were part of a multi-agency response. We were called to assist the Isle of Man Fire and Rescue Service. They were taking the lead due to a fire being reported at the address. Our job mainly at the start of things like that is to assist with the traffic management, which keeps the people in the area safe and allows the fire service to carry out their inquiries and take charge. We've commenced an investigation in relation to it for the offence of arson. Arson basically is criminal damage by the use of fire. As a result of conducting lines of inquiry, a local male was identified and has been arrested on suspicion of that offence. This male was given station bail. Station bail is when we have further inquiry to look into to make sure that we're considering every option. We've still got a number of lines of inquiry to follow, and from that we're asking the public if they've got any information to assist us with.
Who do police want to hear from, and how do they get in touch?
Public are fantastic. They're eyes and ears to assist us, and without them it's much harder to do our job. We're looking for anyone who may have any CCTV, dash cam, ring door footage, and whether they saw anyone in and around the time of the fire, whether they saw anyone acting suspicious, just any help that they feel they may give us. They may think it's not relevant, but actually every part is relevant on things like this. We would like the people, if they have any information, they can report it direct to the Criminal Investigation Department. They're running this investigation, or anonymously, that's via Isle of Man Crime Stoppers, and the number for that is 0800 555 111. In relation to this matter, obviously, like I've said, it's been reported in the press. There's been a lot of interest. It is a well-known, a big building that a lot of people know. From a community safety point of view and a community reassurance, all the right agencies were involved from the start. Everyone arrived on scene and it was dealt with. There's a lot of interest, but please, can we just ask, like we said, just to stay away.
Update brought to you by Simcox Advocates.
22 minutes before 6. The Manx government's exploring the possibility of appointing an advisor to guide the Department of Infrastructure on hydrocarbons and offshore wind projects. Submissions from qualified businesses or individuals are currently being invited through the Manx government's procurement portal. Here's Christian Jones.
The main responsibilities of the role are outlined in a prior information notice posted on the government's website, but the primary aim of the advisor would be to act as a single point of contact for the Department of Infrastructure when it needs guidance on hydrocarbons, such as gas and oil, and offshore wind developments. That guidance could include a wide range of topics, including advising on industry standards and best practices, as well as the direction of travel in the UK legally and practically. The advisor would also be expected to work with financial experts to assess the economic viability of such developments and identify the potential risks associated with hydrocarbons and wind. The notice stresses that at this stage the department is only exploring options and there is no commitment that this search will progress to a competitive tender exercise. Full details can be found at gov.im/procurement, with applications being accepted until 12 p.m. on the 31st of August.
FC Isle of Man's manager hopes the side can put together a strong run of form to keep fans coming back to the bowl. Saturday's 2-1 win over Padiham is the Ravens' final home fixture of the month, with them then travelling for the next 4 matches. Following the victory, Paul Jones spoke to FC Isle of Man's YouTube channel.
We've got a lot of players that weren't in this 16 today that are big impact players who will play a big part in this season for the club. So yeah, there's lots to be positive. That's why we started the club. We know we've got a lot of good players on the island. It's about giving them the opportunity, and I think we give ourselves more of an opportunity to win games consistently by just being a little bit better off the ball, and we did that game 1. We've done that again tonight. And as I said to them, like, we can't really move on beyond that until we nail that for 10 games in a row. Then we might not win every game, but it gives us a better chance to win games, doesn't it? I'm really looking forward to going and seeing our friends who live off the island, who don't get to our home games, and they travel in big numbers. So everyone knows a football club's nothing without the supporters. This football club is harder to be what it could be if the supporters don't come down to the bowl on a Saturday, because we need people in the ground to make it work. And us winning games means hopefully more people will come down. So, it's a virtuous circle, isn't it? The more people come down, the better we play, and the more we win, the more people come down. So, that's what we've got to do. And there's a bit of a stretch of away games now where we've got to really kind of dig deep and make sure that we come out of that run of games with more than a few points. And if we do that, then hopefully the ball will be back for the next home game.
Sea Watch with the Isle of Man Steam Packet Company.
Motorship Ben McCree departed Heysham at 19 minutes past 2. She's just on the outskirts of Douglas Bay at the moment. Will be on the link span in the next 20 minutes or so, departing this evening at 7:45, heading for Heysham. There at about 11:30 tonight. The overnight departure's 2:15 back to Douglas at 6 tomorrow morning. The high-speed craft Manannan departed Douglas at 3 o'clock. She'll be in Liverpool about now on the link span by the Liver building on the pier head, departing this evening at 7:15 back to Douglas at 10 tonight. Tomorrow morning's departures: Manannan departs Douglas at 7:15 for Liverpool, Ben McCree 8:45 for Heysham.
Like the Steam Packet on Facebook for the latest sailing information.
The quality of livestock being bred by Manx farmers on the Isle of Man is very high and improving all the time, so says Robert Kennedy, who was picked to judge the Supreme Champion content at this year's Royal Manx Agricultural Show after selecting the Quayle family's in-calf Limousin cow. He spoke to Manx Radio's Countryside's Kiri Kermode.
Now, what I would say is the standard of stock in the Isle of Man is improving all the time. I'm the sheep judge supervisor, and honestly, the quality of stock down there now is improving all the time, particularly I suppose you could say even in some of the other classes, put in the Charolais and the Texels and the Chiviots and what have you. All of them are all coming on really well, and there's a lot of time and money being spent by the farmers to improve all this sort of stock wise.
This is it.
So it's a great pleasure, and everywhere right through the whole show today, stock was exceptional.
It really was. And
yes.
It made it look like a very, very difficult job you had in this last four lineup, including the light horse there at the end too.
Yes. The horse was a gelding. So yours sort of should be a breeder. That's the basics of how I would look at it anyway. That was if it had been a mare or something, I think I could well have had that up.
I never. Yeah. And your winner today, the Quayle family at Glenlock with the Limousin cow.
Exceptional cow. She was finished right behind the shoulders. Perfect for beef wise. She was that. The bull was a little bit weak behind the shoulder, not filled in yet enough, still growing. Yeah. He's only young yet.
And that's the Simmental.
That's the Simmental bull. The Ayrshire cow, I like the Ayrshire cow.
Manx Radio Business Briefing.
17 minutes before 6, days after its major local competitor pledged to crush Western foes, Tesla has ignited a new pricing battle in China, slashing about 4% off two variants of its popular Model Y. Today, this marks the second round of cuts in China this year, with certain models seeing discounts of up to 16%, as the move aims to counter declining sales and fierce rivalry from domestic electric car manufacturers following a 31% drop in Tesla's July sales for its China-produced vehicles from the preceding month. And for a full daily market report, go to ramseycrookall.com. Private equity firms have sharply increased their investments in the UK healthcare sector over the past 2 years, acquiring ambulance fleets, eye clinics and diagnostic businesses. The Financial Times reports that according to London-based business intelligence provider Lang Buisson, 150 deals sales have been completed since 2021, marking the highest volume in nearly a decade. As the UK NHS struggles with staff shortages and record waiting lists of 7.6 million patients, private equity executives suggest their involvement in healthcare can bring efficiency and innovation.
The Stock Market Report, brought to you by Ramsey Crookall.
UK market moved lower today, led by mining stocks as concerning news surrounding China's property sector dented the outlook. US equity indices were showing small gains. Gold was near a more than 5-week low today, hurt by the elevated dollar, and oil stabilised today as investors weighed concerns about China's faltering economic recovery. And the numbers now from the close at London. Ramsey Crookall reporting the FTSE 100 down 0.25% at 7,507. The DAX in Frankfurt up 0.25% at 15,875. And a short time ago in New York City, the Dow Jones Industrials down 0.1%, 35,253. The Nasdaq Tech Stocks Index is up 0.5% at 13,721. And in the Midwest in Chicago, the S&P 500 is up 0.3% at 4,476. In the exchange markets, the British pound sterling trading at $1 26.9 cents, €1 16.2 cents, and 24 South African rand 18.5 cents. In commodities, gold's down almost 0.2% at $1,910 per troy ounce, and a barrel of Brent crude's down 0.25% at $86.35.
You've got an investment plan?
Yeah, Mike set it up.
But don't you need loads of money to do that?
Not this one. It's called Shearwater from Ramsey Crookall, and you pay in monthly as little as £100. So it's like saving regularly, really helping us invest in the future for a house, or the kids' education.
£100 a month? I could easily do that.
You should. The sooner you start, the better.
Invest in your future with as little as £100 a month. Shearwater from Ramsey Crookall, the island's investment specialist for 75 years. Call 717171 or visit ramseycrookall.com. Licensed and regulated by the Isle of Man Financial Services Authority.
The Isle of Man in 30 minutes. Update on Manx Radio with Andy Wint.
Almost £1.2 million was spent on companies that provide compliance support at the Isle of Man airport last year. The story from Sean Cowper.
Figures published by the Department of Infrastructure show engaging 27 organisations cost more than £1.19 million in the 2022 to 23 financial year. However, it stresses that not all of the funds necessarily went towards compliance activities, but there was no easy way to split the compliance and non-compliance spending. The department says Ronaldsway is required to demonstrate compliance in a range of areas, including wildlife control, safety, security and lighting. Aerodrome safeguarding, airport construction and flight calibrations also have compliance requirements. The companies paid include UK air traffic control provider NATS and the UK's Civil Aviation Authority. The information has been published following a Tynwald written question from Arbury, Castletown and Maloo MHK Tim Glover. The response from the department, which was published in the name of the Interim Infrastructure Minister, the Chief Minister Alfred Cannon, says procurement for these services has been undertaken in compliance with financial regulations.
Manx Radio Sport.
Best of my, Rhiann Evans.
Best of my, good afternoon. Well, it was a record-breaking year for the Alton and Ramsey Marathon and Half Marathon this weekend. More than 400 runners took part in the races, with 76 completing the marathon and 341 completing the half. Phil Hardman was crowned winner of the men's full marathon in a time of 2 hours and 49 minutes, whilst Evelyn Toomey topped the women's in 3 hours and 15 minutes. In the half, Corin Leeming won the men's in 1 hour 10 minutes, and Gemma Aston, who wasn't far behind Leeming, won the women's in 1 hour and 16 minutes, setting a new course record in the process by a whopping 2 minutes and 43 seconds. A full list of results can be found at manxradio.com on the Sports Hub. Elsewhere, and Yasmin Ingham and her British team have been crowned FEI European Eventing Champions in Normandy. The reigning world champion was joined by teammates Kitty King, Laura Collette and Rosalind Cantor in defending the title GB won back in 2021. In the team event, Britain led all three phases, dressage, cross-country and show jumping, and finished with more than 27 points in hand. And the Isle of Man has returned home with 1 gold medal, 2 silvers, a bronze and a number number of personal bests from this year's Junior Airgun International competition. Joshua Holden won the 10-metre air pistol match, whilst Wesley Reid brought home a silver medal in the Grand Prix event and a bronze following the main match final. In the air pistol Grand Prix, Catherine Holden massively improved her personal best score to 545, just 2 points off medals. And for the target sprint race, Catherine finished first female in her heat and 6th overall.
Manx Radio Travel, driven by Quayside Tyres and Service Centre.
One inbound cancellation earlier on today. The 4 o'clock Aer Lingus from Dublin was cancelled. Next inbound tonight, the 10 to 6 Loganair from Manchester is going to be about 5 minutes late. The 10 to 8 Loganair from London City on time. 20 past 8 Loganair from Liverpool, the returning patient transfer planes on time. And the 25 to 9 inbound from London Gatwick EasyJet is on time. Outbound, the 5 o'clock EasyJet to Bristol only went about 5 minutes ago. Next outbound from then, it's the 6:25 Loganair to Liverpool on time. 5 past 9 EasyJet back to London Gatwick is showing on time. On the roads, the Ballymena Road in Derby's got phased closures for water main replacement. Temporary lights on Quines Hill, 24 hours a day they are. Ditching work in Port Sodrick. Garth Road near Foxdale's closed between Tosserby Road and the Foxdale Road for bridge replacement work. East Quay Peel's closed between the House of Manannan and the Road Bridge. They're working on the road and pavement. In Douglas, York Road's closed for resurfacing between Woodburn Road and Ballaquail Road, and temporary lights on Victoria Road at the Falconcliff Terrace Junction till next Monday. They should be wrapped up over the weekend. They're doing some water main work on Victoria Road. Hillside Avenue is closed for adjacent office window replacement till the middle of June next year. Annika Road in Farm Hill and Cushiock Road are both closed in phases for resurfacing. Temporary lights on Governor's Road between Summerhill and Blackberry Lane in Oncombe for patching work. Temporary lights on Bulgham on the Coast Road for wall repairs. And there are temporary lights in Mackle on the Coast Road at Hibernia for telegraph pole replacement.
HNHmotorcycles.im for all your motorcycle requirements. Southgate Industrial Estate, opposite Quayside Tyres. Call 665646.
Ramsey commissioners say they've met with the town's MHKs to discuss the potential closure of Cummal Mooar residential home. It follows Manx Care's claim the facility will be closed within the next 2 years and before a new one's been built, something the DHSC has disputed. Treasury Minister Dr. Allinson MHK spoke with our local democracy reporter Emma Draper.
We're working quite closely with the commissioners. Laurie Hooper and I, as the town's MHKs, have also met with the staff affected by this decision, and we're doing everything in our power at the moment to clarify the situation and make sure that both the residents of Cummal Mooar but also the staff are fully supported and are actually get some firm answers as to the future of the facility and the future of a replacement facility in the town. I think it's unhelpful that there's a huge amount of uncertainty which has bred an awful amount of worry and upset amongst the residents of Cummal Mooar, and I'm very, very sorry for that. I've already spoken to the CEO of Manx Care and pointed out that some of the communications have created an awful lot of upset, and so we're working with Manx Care and with the Department of Health and Social Care and Treasury to actually try to clarify the situation and get a clear roadmap in terms of how we go forward for the benefit particularly of the residents but also the staff. There are currently meetings planned over the next couple of weeks to talk both to Manx Care but also look again at the plans for the replacement of Cummal Mooar, which have now been approved by planning, to absolutely ensure that this is the right facility for the town, meets the needs of current residents and residents in the future. The present Cummal Mooar facility isn't suitable in the long term. They do a fantastic job there to care for people, but there are some issues there in terms of shared bathrooms and also disabled access. What we need to do is plan for a replacement of Cummal Mooar that can meet the needs of people in the north in the long term and is far more suitable for those people, particularly with disabilities.
Update brought to you by Simcox Advocates, advising businesses and families since 1949. Visit simcox.com or call 690 300.
More emphasis needs to be placed on training young people to get into highly specialised fields such as farming and manufacturing. So says Finlay MacLeod, Chief Exec of Isle of Man Creamery. He says it's very difficult to find people with experience on the island.
There are some real shortages of key skills. For example, engineers, and trying to get engineers with experience of a manufacturing environment, in particular a food environment, is incredibly difficult on the Isle of Man. And so we've approached that by introducing an apprentice scheme in conjunction with UCM. And in terms of recruiting ready-made engineers now, we've all but given up, and now we're following a policy of growing our own and having a pipeline of young people who are gaining practical experience in the factory and also theoretical training at the college. They maintain all sorts of machines. I mean, the machines at the creamery are as sophisticated as you would find in any factory, far, far larger than ours. We have state-of-the-art cartoning machines, the cheese manufacturing, the pasteurisers, homogenisers, standardisers. These are all high-tech pieces of equipment which need to be maintained to a very, very high standard to keep your product safe and of high quality.
The FSA says there's concern the current financial climate may leave some people vulnerable to fraud and scams. Additionally, people may be tempted to indulge in riskier behaviours such as borrowing from unregulated money lenders or investing in higher risk products. The authority's chief exec is Bettina Roth.
The pressure is, significant. As I said, we do continue to see increases, and it's really across the entire supply chain. So if it's groceries, if it's energy prices, all of that, any services have been affected. So we do continue to see that, and obviously for consumers that means they continue to be stretched. And in light of the current environment, there is an increase not just on the Isle of Man, but really globally, in fraud, in scams where fraudsters are trying to take advantage of people that are under stress and are looking, to make ends meet. So that is something that we're very aware of. And again, on our consumer awareness page, we do have a specific section for what to look out for, when it comes to fraud and scams and how to recognize those. So that's one aspect. And I think the other aspect is because household finances are stretched, that consumers might be tempted to make short-term decisions that in the long term could be detrimental. So, for example, not contributing to savings accounts, maybe to revisit insurance policies, all of that. So from our perspective, we do advise consumers to check with their service provider first before they make decisions that could affect their long-term financial position.
That's it for Update tonight, compiled from the resources of Manx Radio's news department. Thanks to newsreader Chanel Suku, producer Rhiann Evans. After the news at 6 o'clock, Journey to a Dream. Beth Espy's on Greatest Hits with Chris Kinley at 6:30. Time for Brass with Ian Cottier at 9. And Dave Moore is here with The Late Show After Hours at 10. Just a quick word for your diary. 19 weeks today, it's Christmas Day. 20 weeks today, it's New Year's Day 2024. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
WINT